In the intimate embrace of the local coffee shop, where the scent of roasted beans mingled effortlessly with the soft cadence of indie music, I found myself amidst friends, eager to divulge a slice of my life that still felt surreal. The mood was light, the ambience cozy, a stark contrast to the chaos that had recently unfolded in my own living space. "So, imagine this," I began, my voice a beacon in the quiet hum of the coffee shop, drawing my friends closer into my orbit. There I was, in the new apartment, surrounded by a sea of boxes. It was as if I had accidentally wandered into a cardboard jungle, each box a beast waiting to be tamed. My friends, always a supportive audience, offered sympathetic nods, their eyes reflecting the shared understanding of moving woes. Then, out of nowhere, I continued, my phone breaks the silence, a message from Dave lighting up the screen. "Jess, did a big package arrive today? I sent something for Patricia and Eliza to our place." My confusion must have been palpable, even to the inanimate phone. I mimicked my baffled expression, drawing a round of chuckles from the table. "Since when did we sign up to be a storage facility?" I texted back, half joking, half serious. The table erupted in laughter, the absurdity not lost on them. Dave's reply came swift, a hint of mystery in his words. "It's a surprise. We're helping them out for a bit. Can you stash it somewhere?" My recount of the dialogue had my friends leaning in, the plot thickening with each word. Helping them out? With a surprise? I muttered to myself, eyeing the fortress of boxes already claiming every corner of the living room. Where would I even begin to stash more? I could see the curiosity in my friends' eyes, their intrigue mirroring my own from that day. Feeling a mix of annoyance and curiosity, I called Dave. "Honey, what's this all about? Our apartment is already bursting at the seams. And what's with Patricia and Eliza sending stuff here?" The room fell silent, everyone hanging on the unfolding conversation. Dave's laughter filled my ear, a sound that usually preceded some kind of mischief. "Just trust me, Jess. It's all going to make sense soon. Can you do me a favor and just check outside?" I paused for effect, my friend's expressions a mix of confusion and anticipation. Reluctantly, I pulled back the curtain, half expecting to see nothing more than the usual cityscape. But there, to my utter disbelief, was a moving truck. And there, waving from the front seat with the biggest grins you could imagine, were Patricia and Eliza. The reveal drew gasps and exclamations from around the table, the story taking a turn none had expected. Their arrival was the unforeseen parcel, the beginning of a chapter in my life I never saw coming. And as I stood there, phone still pressed to my ear, listening to Dave's chuckles on the other end, I realized that our lives were about to change in the most unexpected ways. My narrative came to a close, leaving a trail of laughter and warmth in its wake. The story of the unforeseen parcel had not only entertained but had also reminded us of the unpredictable nature of life and the surprises it holds, hidden within the mundane. The revelation that Patricia and Eliza were not just sending parcels, but were themselves the parcels in transit to our next-door residence set a whirlwind of emotions in motion. As the initial shock subsided, a sense of curiosity and anticipation took its place. My friends, now fully engrossed in the tale, leaned in closer, their coffees forgotten. The day after the big reveal, I started, the memory vivid in my mind. I woke up to the sound of moving trucks and the sight of Patricia and Eliza, embarking on their new adventure right next door. I painted the scene with my words, capturing the bustling energy of the morning, the air filled with the sound of boxes being shuffled and furniture being moved. It was a strange feeling, knowing that my sister-in-law, who prized her independence above all, had chosen to be our neighbor in this unexpected twist of fate. The room was silent, save for the soft background music, as my friends hung on to every word. Curiosity getting the better of me, I decided to pay them a visit. "Jess, come in. Look at this mess," Patricia greeted me, a hint of excitement underlining her exhaustion. I shared the dialogue with a smile, recalling the warmth of the welcome, despite the chaos. The apartment was a mirror image of ours, yet seeing it filled with their belongings gave it an entirely different character. Boxes labeled "Kitchen," "Eliza's room," and "Miscellaneous" were stacked in every corner, creating a labyrinth of cardboard. The detail drew chuckles from my friends, the imagery all too familiar. "So, what's the plan?" I asked, navigating through the maze of boxes to join them in what would eventually be the living room. The conversation flowed naturally, the question on everyone's minds now voiced. Patricia, ever the visionary, launched into an explanation. "We're here temporarily, just until the yurt on our new plot of land is ready." Dave's idea, can you believe it? He thought it would be good for us to be close, especially with everything going on. I could see my friend's expressions shift from amusement to interest, the story taking on new layers. "A yurt?" I echoed, the concept so foreign yet intriguing. "Yes, a yurt. It's going to be an adventure, but in the meantime, we get to be neighbors. And we're planning on making the most of it," Eliza chimed in, her youthful enthusiasm infectious. Their optimism and excitement were palpable, even in recollection. The conversation turned to plans for the shared spaces between our apartments. "We should start a small garden," Patricia suggested, her eyes alight with the prospect of bringing a piece of their future yurt life into our urban setting. The idea of a communal garden sparked a sense of community and togetherness, not just among us, but within the narrative I shared. As I left their apartment, the weight of the unexpected shift in our lives began to settle. Patricia and Eliza, once distant relatives, were now neighbors, woven into the daily fabric of our lives. The chapter closed on a note of reflection, the unexpected neighbors bringing with them a promise of change, growth, and the joy of newfound closeness. My friends, now fully captivated, eagerly awaited the next chapter, their imaginations alight with visions of community gardens and yurt dreams taking root in the heart of the city. As the novelty of having Patricia and Eliza as neighbors began to settle into a comfortable routine, their yurt dream became a focal point of our conversations. The coffee shop, with its ambient warmth and the gentle strumming of a guitar in the background, provided the perfect backdrop for this unfolding chapter. "The yurt dream," I began, my voice tinged with a mix of admiration and curiosity, wasn't just a whimsical idea. For Patricia and Eliza, it was a deeply rooted desire for a simpler, more connected way of life. My friends, now fully invested in the narrative, listened intently, their imaginations painting pictures of what was to come. One evening, over a shared meal that had become a regular occurrence between our apartments, Patricia laid out the blueprints on the dining table. "This is it," she said, her finger tracing the circular design of the yurt. "Our future home." The mention of blueprints brought a tangible element to the dream, drawing everyone closer to the vision. "But why a yurt?" I remember asking, the concept still somewhat foreign to me. Patricia's response was heartfelt, her passion for the project shining through. "It's about simplicity and sustainability," she explained. "A yurt offers us a chance to live closer to nature, to minimize our impact, and to foster a sense of community. It's not just a house, it's a lifestyle." Her words painted a vivid picture of the life they aspired to, one that resonated with a part of me that longed for simplicity amidst the urban chaos. Eliza, with the enthusiasm of youth, chimed in, "And we can design it however we want. It's going to have a skylight right at the top, so we can watch the stars at night." The room was silent, save for our collective breaths, as we envisioned the beauty of a starlit sky viewed through the lens of a yurt skylight. Their excitement was infectious, and as they spoke, I found myself drawn into the dream. "So, when do you start building?" I asked, the practical side of me curious about the logistics. Patricia's smile was wistful, tempered by reality. "There have been some delays with the permits and the land. It's a process, but we're hoping to start in the spring." The mention of delays brought a sense of shared frustration, but also a determination to overcome the hurdles. As the evening wore on, we discussed everything from renewable energy sources to rainwater collection systems. Patricia and Eliza had thought of everything, their plan a testament to their commitment to this dream. My recounting took a pause, allowing the weight of their aspirations to sink in. Before we parted ways that night, Patricia handed me a small, hand-drawn sketch of the yurt. "For inspiration," she said. "Who knows? Maybe you'll join us in the yurt life one day." The gesture was touching, a symbol of their openness and the expanding boundaries of our relationship. As I made my way back to my apartment, the sketch in hand, I couldn't help but feel a part of their dream. The yurt, with its promise of simplicity and connection, had planted a seed of possibility in my own heart. Chapter 3 closed not just with the blueprint of a yurt but with the blueprint of a changed perspective, the dream weaving its way into the fabric of our lives, challenging us to reconsider what it means to live fully and authentically. My friends, silent and reflective, were caught in the gravity of the dream, their thoughts no doubt wandering to the possibilities of their own yurt dreams in the vast canvas of life. The yurt dream, while a personal journey for Patricia and Eliza, soon evolved into something far greater, a community project that sought to bring the essence of yurt living into the heart of our urban neighborhood. As the story unfolded in the cozy confines of the coffee shop, with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingling with the scent of pastries, I delved into the next chapter, my friends hanging on every word. The community project, I began, the excitement in my voice mirroring the enthusiasm that had gripped our little corner of the city, was Patricia and Eliza's brainchild, a way to share the principles of sustainable living with everyone. Interest sparked in my friends' eyes, their imaginations already painting vivid pictures of the transformation about to take place. It all started one sunny afternoon, I continued, when Patricia knocked on my door, a bundle of papers in her hand and a fire in her eyes. "Jess, we've got an idea," she announced, spreading the papers across my kitchen table. "We're going to start a community garden." The idea of a community garden in our concrete jungle was both novel and exciting, a green oasis in the midst of urban sprawl. "A community garden?" I echoed, my curiosity piqued. "Yes, but not just any garden," Eliza piped in, her youthful enthusiasm contagious. "We want it to be a space where everyone can come together, learn about sustainable living, and grow their own food." Their vision was clear, and their passion was infectious, drawing me in further. "And we're thinking of hosting workshops, too," Patricia added. "Everything from building birdhouses to composting. We want to create a space that's not only about growing food but also about growing as a community." The scope of the project was ambitious, but with Patricia and Eliza at the helm, it felt entirely achievable. "How can I help?" I found myself asking, the idea of contributing to something so meaningful, stirring a sense of purpose within me. Patricia's response was immediate, her smile broad. "We were hoping you'd say that. We need all the help we can get to turn this dream into reality." The planning sessions that followed were a whirlwind of activity, our small team growing as neighbors caught wind of the project and offered their skills, time, and enthusiasm. The garden's design took shape, incorporating raised beds for vegetables, a herb spiral, and even a small greenhouse. One evening, as we pored over the latest version of the garden layout, Dave chimed in, "You know, this is turning out to be something really special. I've never seen the community come together like this before." His words captured the essence of what the project had become, a catalyst for community engagement and a testament to what could be achieved when people came together for a common cause. As the launch day approached, the excitement was palpable. Banners were raised, tools were gathered, and seeds were sown, both literally and metaphorically. The day of the garden's inauguration was a celebration of community spirit, with neighbors of all ages coming together to plant the first seeds of what would become not just a garden, but a communal living room, open to all. Standing there, amidst the laughter and the shared labor, I realized that this garden was a reflection of the yurt dream, a space where simplicity, sustainability, and community intersected. Chapter 4 closed on a note of hopeful anticipation, the community project not just a chapter in our story, but a seed for future stories to grow from. My friends, inspired and moved, could hardly wait to see how this seed would blossom in the chapters to come, their own sense of community spirit kindled by the tale of a garden that grew from a dream. The community garden, now a burgeoning testament to our collective efforts, had become the heart of the neighborhood, pulsing with life and the spirit of collaboration. It was in this chapter, shared over the gentle clinks of coffee cups and the subdued chatter of the coffee shop, that the depth of our journey truly began to unfold. The spirit of collaboration, I began, my voice infused with a mixture of pride and wonder, didn't just cultivate a garden, it cultivated a community. As the garden grew, so did our relationships, transforming strangers into neighbors and neighbors into friends. My friends leaned in, their interest piqued by the unfolding narrative of unity and shared purpose. One afternoon, as I was tending to the tomatoes, Mr. Henderson, the retired school teacher from the end of the street, ambled over. "You know, Jessica," he said, leaning on his cane, "I've lived here for 30 years, and I've never seen anything like this." The mention of Mr. Henderson, a well-respected figure in our neighborhood, underscored the wide-reaching impact of our project. "It's pretty amazing, isn't it?" I replied, wiping the sweat from my brow. "More than that, dear. It's transformative. I've got a box of old gardening tools in my shed, would they be of use to you?" His offer was generous, reflective of the newfound sense of community the garden had inspired. Our conversation highlighted the cascading effect of goodwill the garden had initiated, a sentiment echoed by many who visited. As the garden flourished, so too did the array of community-led workshops. One Saturday, under the shade of an old oak tree, Patricia and Eliza hosted a workshop on sustainable living practices. The turnout was remarkable, with faces young and old eager to learn and share. The workshop, a blend of education and community bonding, became a cornerstone of our collective experience. "Why is sustainability important?" a young boy asked, his hand shooting up amidst the crowd. Patricia knelt down to his level, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Because it helps us take care of our planet. It teaches us to use less, waste less, and live in harmony with nature." Her explanation, simple yet profound, resonated with the audience, a shared nod of agreement rippling through the crowd. The workshops became a regular feature, each session drawing more participants than the last. From composting to rainwater harvesting, the topics varied, but the message was the same, a commitment to a more sustainable, connected way of life. Our gatherings, once centered around the tangible aspects of gardening, had evolved into forums for learning and growth, a space where community members felt empowered to contribute their knowledge and skills. One day, as we sat planning the next workshop, Dave, ever the pragmatist, raised a question. "How do we keep this going? How do we ensure that the spirit of this garden, this community, lives on?" His question, though laced with practicality, sparked a deeper reflection on the legacy of our endeavors. Patricia leaned forward, her gaze sweeping over the plans sprawled across the table. "We document it. We share our story, our successes, and our challenges. We make this garden a model for others, not just in our city, but everywhere." Her response, visionary in its scope, captured the essence of what we had created, a blueprint for community-driven change, rooted in the principles of sustainability and collaboration. As the chapter of the spirit of collaboration drew to a close, the garden stood as a living testament to what could be achieved when individuals come together for a common purpose. It was no longer just about growing food, it was about growing a community, one that thrived on the principles of sharing, learning, and mutual support. The narrative, enriched by the characters and their contributions, left my friends inspired and reflective, contemplating the power of collaboration in their own lives and communities. The story of our garden, a microcosm of the wider world, had woven a tapestry of hope, resilience, and the enduring spirit of human connection. As the seasons changed, so did our little urban oasis, blossoming into a vibrant community hub that had, in many ways, redefined our neighborhood's identity. This chapter, shared among the comforting familiarity of our favorite coffee shop, with the soft melody of an acoustic guitar providing a gentle soundtrack, was about reflection, celebration, and looking forward. The new beginning, I started, my voice carrying a mixture of nostalgia and anticipation, wasn't just about the garden or the workshops. It was about us, as a community, stepping into a future we had crafted with our own hands. My friends, now as invested in the story as if they had been part of it themselves, nodded in understanding. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with strokes of pink and orange, we gathered in the garden for a community dinner. It was a celebration of all we had achieved and a chance to dream about what was next. The imagery of the gathering, set against the backdrop of a sunset, drew my friends further into the moment. "Can you believe how far we've come?" Dave said, handing me a plate piled high with food grown in our garden. I smiled at the memory, the sense of accomplishment tangible even now. "It's incredible. This garden has grown into something much bigger than any of us imagined. Our exchange, simple yet profound, underscored the journey we had embarked upon together. As we ate, Patricia stood up, tapping her glass for attention. "I want to propose a toast," she began, her voice steady and clear. "To new beginnings, to the power of community, and to the countless adventures that lie ahead." Her toast was met with a chorus of cheers, the air filled with a sense of unity and shared purpose. Later that evening, as the festivities wound down, Eliza pulled me aside. "You know, my mom and I have been talking. Once the yurt is finished, we're planning on starting a series of workshops there, about living sustainably, but also about building community." Her revelation was exciting, a continuation of the legacy we had begun to build. "That sounds amazing, Eliza. You can count on us to help in any way we can," I assured her, the promise of future collaboration strengthening the bonds between us. The conversation, filled with hope and anticipation, was a testament to the enduring spirit of our community. As the night drew to a close, and our neighbors slowly departed, leaving trails of laughter and conversation in their wake, I took a moment to look around. The garden, illuminated by strings of soft lights, was more than just a space for cultivation. It was a symbol of our collective resilience, creativity, and determination. The reflection was a moment of quiet amidst the celebration, a chance to take stock of the journey and the transformations it had wrought. The new beginning was not an end, but a launching pad for future endeavors, for dreams yet to be realized, and for a community forever changed by the simple act of coming together. As I concluded the chapter, the story resonating in the quiet of the coffee shop, my friends sat in thoughtful silence. The narrative had transcended the bounds of our little gathering, touching on universal themes of change, growth, and the endless possibilities that arise when individuals unite with a common vision. The garden, our community project, had planted seeds of change that would grow for years to come, a living legacy of what can be achieved when we dare to dream, collaborate, and embark on new beginnings.